Antibiotics save lives, but they also create one of the biggest hidden health problems most people never see coming. They flatten your gut microbiome in a matter of hours. These medications don't have the intelligence to distinguish between harmful pathogens and your beneficial bacteria, so they wipe out both. And the moment that balance collapses, you can feel the effects: bloating, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, stubborn cravings, a weaker immune system, inflammation that lingers for weeks, and even fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix. Most people think the gut will simply bounce back on its own, but research shows the microbiome can take months, sometimes years, to fully recover if you don't actively support it. The good news is that with the right foods and daily habits, you can accelerate this process dramatically. In fact, the gut is one of the fastest regenerating systems in the body, and many beneficial bacteria species can repopulate within days when they are given the correct fuel. You don't need expensive probiotic supplements to do this. Nature already provides the fibers, polyphenols, and prebiotic compounds that feed your good microbes, so they can multiply, repair the gut lining, and rebuild immune strength. And when you follow a structured approach, even for just 7 days, you can see noticeable improvements in digestion, mood, energy, and inflammation. In this video, you'll learn exactly how antibiotics disrupt your gut ecosystem, the key foods that regrow beneficial bacteria naturally, and the daily strategy that helps restore balance without relying on pills or manufactured probiotics. This is a simple, science-backed plan that gives your gut everything it needs to recover rapidly and start working for you again. Antibiotics are incredibly effective at targeting harmful bacteria, but the way they work is indiscriminate. Think of them as a chemical bulldozer moving through a complex, bustling city. They knock down both the bad neighborhoods and the good neighborhoods. In the gut, this means not only the pathogens are eliminated, but also the beneficial bacteria that regulate digestion, support immunity, and maintain the integrity of the intestinal lining. One of the most immediate consequences is a dramatic loss of bacterial diversity. Healthy microbiomes are like rainforests. The more species present, the more resilient the ecosystem. Antibiotics flatten this landscape, often eliminating entire families of bacteria that are responsible for producing essential compounds, communicating with the immune system, and keeping harmful microbes in check. With fewer protective bacteria, opportunistic species like Clostridium, difficile or yeast can expand unchecked, creating an imbalanced environment where inflammation thrives. Another key impact is on the gut lining itself. Beneficial bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, especially butyrate, which act as the main fuel for the cells lining the intestines. When these bacteria are depleted, the production of these fatty acids drops, leaving the gut barrier weakened and more permeable, a phenomenon often referred to as leaky gut. This increased permeability allows bacterial fragments and toxins to cross into the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation, immune activation, and sometimes symptoms that appear unrelated to digestion, such as fatigue, joint pain, or skin reactions. Enzyme disruption is another consequence most people overlook. Certain gut microbes produce digestive enzymes that help break down complex carbohydrates, fibers, and proteins. When these microbes are wiped out, digestion becomes less efficient, leading to bloating, gas, irregular stools, and nutrient malabsorption. Over time, this can reduce energy levels and even impact mood, because the gut is a major site of neurotransmitter production and immune signaling. Immune signaling itself is affected because the gut microbiome constantly educates and regulates the immune system. Antibiotics remove the microbes that help calibrate immune responses, making the system either sluggish or overly reactive. This is why some people notice increased susceptibility to infections or develop food sensitivities after a course of antibiotics. Many assume the gut will simply repopulate naturally, But without intervention, beneficial bacteria often remain suppressed for weeks or months, while opportunistic species dominate. Symptoms can be subtle yet pervasive: mild bloating, irregular bowel habits, fatigue that isn't explained by lifestyle, increased cravings for sugar or refined foods, low-grade inflammation, or even mood fluctuations. These are all signs that the gut ecosystem is out of balance. Recovery doesn't occur automatically because modern diets are often low in the fibers and polyphenols that feed beneficial bacteria, and lifestyle factors such as stress, sleep deprivation, and medication use continue to challenge the microbiome. Understanding these mechanisms highlights why intentional support is critical. By providing the right substrates and fostering an environment for beneficial bacteria to thrive, it's possible to restore balance, reduce inflammation, and reclaim the digestive and systemic health that antibiotics temporarily disrupt. The human gut is an extraordinarily resilient ecosystem, capable of rebuilding itself when given the correct support. While probiotic supplements are often marketed as essential for recovery after antibiotics, the truth is that they are not required for most people to restore a healthy microbiome. Probiotics, by definition, introduce specific strains of bacteria, but they often fail to survive the harsh acidic environment of the stomach, are mismatched to the existing microbial community, or simply do not colonize the gut long term. In contrast, the native microbiome contains the blueprint for its own regeneration. The microbes that survive antibiotic exposure, along with the dormant spores and resistant species naturally present, can rapidly multiply when provided with the right nutrients and environmental conditions. Prebiotic fibers are one of the most powerful tools for microbiome restoration. These are non-digestible carbohydrates found in vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains, which reach the colon intact and serve as food for beneficial bacteria. When these fibers are fermented by the microbiota, they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These compounds are critical for gut barrier integrity, reducing inflammation, supporting immune function, and even providing energy to colon cells. By prioritizing a variety of prebiotic fibers, you are effectively feeding the bacteria that need to thrive, giving them the resources to repopulate the gut rapidly. Polyphenols, the natural compounds found in foods such as berries, cocoa, green tea, and spices, also play a significant role. They act as antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents, but importantly, they selectively stimulate the growth of beneficial bacteria while inhibiting the expansion of harmful species. Resistant starch, found in cooled potatoes, green bananas, legumes, and certain whole grains, functions similarly, bypassing digestion in the small intestine and feeding microbes in the colon. These substrates create an environment where the gut ecosystem naturally shifts back toward diversity and balance. Fermentation processes in the colon are central to this regeneration. As bacteria metabolize fibers, polyphenols, and resistant starches, they create compounds that further support the growth of a diverse microbiome. This self-reinforcing cycle is far more effective than introducing a handful of foreign strains through supplements, which may not persist or integrate effectively. A diet rich in a wide variety of whole foods ensures multiple bacterial species have the nutrients they need to multiply, outcompete opportunistic species, and re-establish their roles in digestion, immune regulation, and inflammation control. By focusing on the right inputs, diverse plant foods, fiber, polyphenols, and resistant starch, the body's native microbiome is given everything it requires to restore itself naturally. Rather than relying on expensive, often ineffective probiotics, supporting the intrinsic regenerative capacity of the gut ensures long-term resilience and functional health. This approach leverages the microbiome's innate intelligence, feeding it the substances it has evolved to thrive on and allowing it to repopulate, recover, and resume its critical role in digestion, immunity, and systemic wellness without external bacterial supplementation. Certain foods have a profound and measurable effect on the gut microbiome, especially after antibiotics have disrupted its balance. High fiber vegetables are at the top of this list. Vegetables such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, carrots, and artichokes provide a spectrum of fibers, including inulin, cellulose, and pectins, which reach the colon largely undigested. Once there, they act as prebiotic fuel for beneficial bacteria, stimulating the production of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate that nourish colon cells, maintain the gut barrier, and reduce inflammation. Leafy greens, in particular, are rich in micronutrients that support enzyme production and promote a healthy environment for bacterial growth, helping the gut ecosystem recover its diversity. Prebiotic-rich foods offer an additional advantage. Garlic, onions, leeks, and asparagus contain specific carbohydrates that selectively feed bifidobacteria and lactobacilli species, promoting their proliferation while suppressing opportunistic microbes. These foods encourage fermentation processes in the colon, generating anti-inflammatory compounds and providing energy to intestinal epithelial cells, which enhances the integrity of the gut lining. Daily inclusion of these vegetables not only accelerates microbiome recovery, but also stabilizes bowel habits, mitigates bloating, and supports nutrient absorption. Resistant starch sources are another critical group. Cooked and cooled potatoes, green bananas, lentils, chickpeas, and certain whole grains provide starches that escape digestion in the small intestine and reach the colon intact. Here, they act as fermentable substrates for butyrate, producing bacteria, enhancing gut barrier function, lowering systemic inflammation, and supporting balanced immune signaling. Regular consumption helps restore digestive enzyme activity and contributes to smoother, more efficient bowel movements, which are often disrupted after antibiotic use. Polyphenol-rich berries such as blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries play a complementary role. These compounds stimulate beneficial bacteria, inhibit harmful species, and exert antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. Herbs like oregano, thyme, rosemary, and turmeric contain phytochemicals that enhance microbial diversity, support gut immunity, and contribute to maintaining a healthy inflammatory balance. Seeds such as flax, chia, and pumpkin provide both fiber and healthy fats, creating additional nourishment for the microbiota while supporting gut motility and enzyme function. For those following a vegetarian diet, natural healing broths offer a valuable alternative. Vegetable broths enriched with onions, garlic, herbs, mushrooms, and seaweed provide minerals, polyphenols, and soluble fibers that support bacterial regrowth and mucosal repair. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickled radishes contribute living microbial communities, though in moderate amounts, to reinforce diversity. Together, these foods act synergistically. They feed good bacteria, repair the gut lining, restore digestive enzyme activity, reduce inflammation, and encourage the microbiome to return to its natural, balanced state, creating the foundation for long-term digestive health and systemic wellness. Daily habits play an often underestimated role in restoring gut health after antibiotic disruption. Hydration is foundational because water facilitates nutrient absorption, supports mucosal secretions, and aids the movement of digested food through the intestines. Adequate fluid intake ensures that the gut lining remains moist and resilient, reducing mechanical stress and helping repair tiny microlesions caused by increased permeability. Electrolyte balance complements hydration, as minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium are essential for cellular function in the intestinal lining and for maintaining the electrical gradients that drive nutrient transport. Consuming mineral-rich foods or broths can support epithelial recovery and optimize digestive enzyme activity, accelerating microbiome regeneration. Circadian rhythm alignment is another critical factor. The gut has its own biological clock that regulates motility, enzyme secretion, and microbial activity. Disruptions to sleep patterns, late night eating, or irregular schedules can interfere with these rhythms, leading to sluggish digestion and imbalanced microbial populations. Maintaining consistent sleep and meal timing reinforces microbial cycles, enhances short-chain fatty acid production, and lowers systemic inflammation, creating a more favorable environment for bacterial regrowth. Slowing gut motility and chewing food thoroughly are simple yet effective practices. Rapid eating or poor mastication reduces enzymatic breakdown, leaving larger food particles in the colon that can ferment unpredictably, feeding opportunistic microbes rather than beneficial species. Slower, mindful eating allows digestive enzymes and bile acids to break down food efficiently, supporting nutrient absorption and reducing gas, bloating, and irritation along the intestinal lining. This process strengthens digestive resilience and maintains a balanced microbial ecosystem. Reducing irritants is essential during microbiome recovery. Alcohol, caffeine, highly processed foods, and artificial sweeteners can inflame the gut lining, increase permeability, and encourage the growth of pathogenic species. Minimizing these substances while focusing on nutrient-dense whole foods helps the microbiome recover faster and prevents additional stress on the immune system. Controlled fasting windows, such as a 12 to 14-hour overnight fast, provide the gut an opportunity to rest, allowing epithelial cells to repair and beneficial bacteria to stabilize. Intermittent fasting has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers and promote microbial diversity, creating a regenerative environment in just days. Stress-lowering practices are equally important because the gut and brain communicate bidirectionally through the gut-brain axis. Chronic stress triggers cortisol release, which increases gut permeability, slows motility, and suppresses immune defenses in the intestines. Incorporating relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, gentle exercise, or even short mindful walks helps reduce cortisol, improves blood flow to the digestive tract, and supports microbial balance. Together, these daily habits form a comprehensive strategy. Hydration and electrolytes repair and fuel the gut lining, rhythm alignment and mindful eating optimize digestive function, irritant reduction and fasting encourage microbial recovery, and stress management lowers inflammation, creating the perfect environment for the microbiome to rebuild within a matter of days. Day 1 focuses on stabilizing the gut environment and beginning bacterial regrowth. Start the morning with a large glass of water with a pinch of sea salt or mineral powder to support electrolyte balance and mucosal hydration. Breakfast should include high-fiber vegetables such as steamed kale or sauteed spinach, paired with resistant starch sources like cooled oatmeal or lentils. This combination provides substrates for beneficial bacteria to ferment and produce short-chain fatty acids, which nourish the gut lining. Eat slowly, chewing thoroughly to support enzymatic activity, and aim for a 12-hour overnight fasting window to give the gut cells a chance to begin repair. Include a cup of herbal tea, such as chamomile or peppermint, to reduce inflammation and support digestion. Light activity like a short walk after meals can improve motility without overstimulating the gut. Day 2 emphasizes microbial diversity and inflammation reduction. Begin with hydration and mineral intake as on day 1. Breakfast can include prebiotic-rich foods such as leeks, garlic, or asparagus, combined with polyphenol-rich berries for antioxidant support. Lunch should incorporate a variety of colorful vegetables, seeds such as flax or pumpkin, and a moderate portion of resistant starch like cooled potatoes. Maintain mindful eating and avoid irritants like alcohol, caffeine, and processed foods. Mid-day relaxation, deep breathing, or a short meditation session helps lower cortisol, which in turn reduces gut permeability and supports immune signaling. Day 3 is designed to support gut barrier repair. Include vegetable broths enriched with onions, herbs, and mushrooms, which provide minerals, soluble fibers, and polyphenols that encourage epithelial healing. Snack on raw vegetables or lightly fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut to gently reintroduce microbial communities. Ensure hydration continues at a minimum of 30 ml per kilogram of body weight and add mineral support if needed. Maintain consistent meal timing and consider a 14-hour overnight fast to allow intestinal cells to regenerate while supporting beneficial bacterial activity. Evening relaxation techniques such as gentle stretching or mindfulness exercises are essential to reduce systemic inflammation. Day 4 focuses on strengthening digestion and enzymatic function. Begin the day with a fiber-rich breakfast including leafy greens, grated carrots, and resistant starch sources. Chew thoroughly to maximize enzyme exposure and slow food transit. Include prebiotic foods throughout the day and maintain hydration goals. Lunch and dinner should combine diverse vegetables, seeds, and polyphenol-rich berries. Gentle physical activity and short walks after meals stimulate healthy motility. Avoid irritants, processed foods, and excessive snacking to reduce stress on the gut lining. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule and ensure 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep to support microbiome recovery. Day 5 targets inflammation reduction and microbial repopulation. Include fermented vegetables in small portions to provide living bacteria while maintaining fiber-rich vegetables and resistant starch. Drink herbal teas and continue hydration with mineral support. Incorporate anti-inflammatory herbs such as turmeric or rosemary in meals. Maintain mindful eating, slow mastication, and consistent meal timing. Evening relaxation practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or light yoga help regulate cortisol and prevent stress-related disruption of the microbiome. Day 6 is focused on recalibrating digestion and nutrient absorption. Include a variety of probiotic vegetables, polyphenol-rich fruits, and seeds to ensure continued bacterial diversity. Maintain hydration and electrolyte balance throughout the day. Breakfast can include cooled oatmeal or legumes as resistant starch sources. Include vegetable broths for mineral support and mucosal healing. Continue mindful eating, chewing thoroughly, and maintaining fasting windows overnight to optimize gut repair. Evening stress lowering practices remain critical to regulate cortisol and support microbial balance. Day 7 consolidates the gains and reinforces microbial diversity. Begin with hydration and mineral intake, followed by a fiber-rich prebiotic breakfast with polyphenols and resistant starch. Lunch and dinner should focus on colorful vegetables, seeds, and small portions of fermented foods to maintain microbial diversity. Avoid irritants and processed foods, and continue mindful eating with slow mastication. Maintain a consistent fasting window overnight, regular sleep schedule, and stress reduction practices. At the end of this day, the gut has received a full week of targeted support. Beneficial bacteria have been fed, the gut lining repaired, inflammation reduced, and digestion recalibrated, creating a foundation for long-term microbiome resilience and overall digestive and systemic health. During the 7-day gut restoration period, certain foods and lifestyle choices can significantly hinder recovery and prolong imbalance. Sugar, particularly refined sugar, feeds opportunistic bacteria and yeast, encouraging their overgrowth at the expense of beneficial species. This leads to dysbiosis, increased gas, bloating, and low-grade inflammation that further damages the gut lining. Instead of sugary snacks or desserts, focus on naturally sweet whole foods such as berries, which provide polyphenols to feed beneficial microbes while limiting inflammatory spikes in blood sugar. Highly processed foods are another major obstacle. Packaged meals ready to eat snacks and refined grains often contain additives, emulsifiers, and low-quality fats that disrupt microbial diversity and irritate the intestinal lining. They are low in probiotic fibers, meaning they fail to support bacterial regrowth. Replacing these with whole, minimally processed vegetables, legumes, and whole grains provides both the substrates and micronutrients that the microbiome needs to thrive. Alcohol has a direct toxic effect on gut bacteria and the mucosal lining. It increases permeability, allowing bacterial fragments and endotoxins to enter circulation, which triggers systemic inflammation. Even moderate consumption can slow recovery after antibiotics. Herbal teas, sparkling water, or mineral-rich broths are safer alternatives that support hydration and gut healing. Excessive caffeine can alter gut motility and increase stomach acidity, potentially disrupting digestion and microbial balance. While small amounts may be tolerated, it is best to limit intake during microbiome restoration. Focus instead on hydrating herbal infusions or water between meals to maintain electrolyte balance and support enzymatic activity. Seed oils and highly refined vegetable oils, such as sunflower, safflower, and soybean oils, are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can promote inflammation in the gut and systemically. This inflammatory environment reduces the efficiency of bacterial regrowth and compromises the integrity of the intestinal lining. Using olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil in moderation provides healthy fats that support cellular repair and reduce inflammatory signaling. Late-night eating and irregular meal schedules disrupt circadian rhythms in the gut, which regulate motility, enzyme secretion, and microbial activity. Eating too close to bedtime slows digestion, increases fermentation in the colon, and interferes with natural repair processes. Maintaining consistent meal times and an overnight fasting window of 12 to 14 hours allows the gut to rest and repair, promoting a stable environment for microbial recovery. Stress is another critical factor. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol, which increases gut permeability, slows motility, and suppresses beneficial bacterial activity. Incorporating stress reduction techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, gentle exercise, or mindful walking supports the microbiome and helps maintain balanced immune signaling. Overeating can overwhelm digestive processes, causing undigested food to reach the colon too quickly, which favors fermentation by opportunistic species rather than beneficial bacteria. Practicing portion control, eating slowly, and chewing thoroughly optimizes enzymatic breakdown and nutrient absorption, creating an environment that promotes beneficial microbial growth. By avoiding refined sugars, processed foods, alcohol, excessive caffeine, inflammatory oils, late-night eating, stress, and overeating, and replacing them with fiber-rich, polyphenol, dense whole foods, healthy fats, proper hydration, consistent meal timing, and relaxation practices, the microbiome is given the ideal conditions to recover efficiently. Each choice directly influences inflammation, bacterial diversity, gut barrier integrity, and the speed of restoration, making adherence to these guidelines essential for rapid, sustainable gut health.